Shreya Shaw first, because from what I gather, Dr. Shaw, it seems that at the RG Kar Medical College, this isn't a one-off episode. The fact that doctors have very tough working conditions, that they aren't being properly taken care of, that there is a certain amount of harassment built into how the system operates. As someone who's on the ground currently part of this protest, can you tell the rest of the nation, people watching at this time, what the kind of difficulties that doctors go through and why you fear that unless we expand the probe, look at all angles, look for the other accused, that this may happen again at RG Kar or somewhere else?
Yes, of course, I would like to address to all the problems that we face as all healthcare professionals at this hospital, or rather most hospitals in this whole country. First of all, we come here to do our duties, and we are on duty for continuous 36 hours, 48 hours, and maybe some days even it will extend to 52 hours. So the lack of a proper rest room, adequate number of rest rooms in ratio, in proportionate to the number of doctors on duty, and washrooms, security, surveillance, and many other logistic problems are there that we face in most government colleges, healthcare facilities all across the country.
Okay, that's really terrible. The lack of proper systems to ensure that the doctors have a place to sit, they have a washroom, they should ideally have a place to rest. You heard what one of the doctors said, that you come out and where you're sitting, people just barge in, there is no privacy. This is just really painting a very terrible picture. Dr. Subarna Goswami, you reviewed the post-mortem report. Can you give our viewers a sense of why you think that the injuries suggest that more than one rapist is involved, that the semen sample suggests that there's more than one rapist? So explain why you think that the probe, in the way that it was carried out initially, was a complete botch-up.
See, when we went to meet the parents of the victim, they showed us the post-mortem report, and the post-mortem report reflects multiple innumerable numbers of injuries. Like, her victim's body were full of abrasions and bruises almost everywhere. Blood was coming out from her eyes, from her nose, from her mouth, from her private parts, and from the nails also. The second thing is the amount of white, thick, viscid fluid collected from her private parts, inside the private parts. That is 151 grams. So even if the mucus and other tissues are, added to it, it's a huge amount, and that cannot come out from a single man. So we cannot rule out involvement of multiple men involved. That's one thing. Another thing is the police was claiming that she was murdered first and then the dead body was dead, but not the fact. That's not the fact. The post-mortem report says the other way around. There's all those injuries, all those brutalities happened ante-mortem. That is, first the girl was raped, maybe gang raped, or thereafter they murdered, he or they. We don't know how many people involved, but the police should interrogate all the possible suspects, right? So the people who had dinner with the victim, the people who were in the chest ward on duty on the chest ward that night. But the police, till Monday, that 3-4 days, they didn't interrogate anybody, but the only one suspect. They were busy with finding his girlfriend's house, his in-laws' house, and everything, but they didn't even bother to interrogate. They didn't even bother to seal the crime scene. They kept it open to access anybody to access. The media went there, took the video picture, made it viral. And yesterday we found that they have started college authority and the health department has started a renovation work in the crime scene. What is it? It is nothing but tempering a deliberate attempt to temper the evidence.
Monajit Mandal, this just presents a very terrible picture about the West Bengal administration, led as it is by a feisty woman chief minister. Your government has been caught on completely the wrong foot. First, the administration tells the parents it's a case of suicide. The parents are made to wait for 3 hours to see the body. The marks indicate that there was brutal injury. The semen suggests that there were more than one rapist. The police arrest Sanjay Roy, and then you say, okay, he's the guy, the case is closed. You don't look for the first several days at trying to expand the scope of the probe, and then renovation begins at the crime site. The crime site is not sealed. It's a free-for-all. Anyone can come there. All this seems either terribly incompetent and inept or deliberate. Which one is it?
Till yesterday, 34 people were interrogated. 16 were in the pipeline. They were supposed to be interrogated. You are an extremely responsible channel. Please cross-check, verify the facts before you transmit it.
I am extremely saddened, disappointed, and it's very difficult for me to speak on an issue which is horrendous for anyone. Nonetheless, the kind of misinformation that responsible...
No, which part of this is misinformation? Has renovation not started? Was the crime scene not sealed? Were the parents not initially told that this is a case of suicide? What of this is misinformation?
I expect better from you, Mr. Rahul Kanwal, when you have one versus the race, and I'm not defending anybody. I'm not even speaking on this horrendous issue. We are just looking for justice, and I'm trying to give you the right information which are coming from none other than the Chief Minister of the state, right? You want to believe in the Chief Minister of the state who just spoke, few minutes back about how many people were interrogated, the action of the police, or you want to believe a doctor who has got a definite political color? It's up to you. It's absolutely up to you, but the facts are there. Nonetheless, when the CBI has taken over the case from yesterday, we should wait till Sunday to see what has happened instead of blaming the government of West Bengal, which has done everything right. A stupendous job by the Kolkata police. They could arrest the main culprit within a span of few hours. They interrogated, repeating, this is a responsible statement. Please transmit them as it is, without adding any color. 34 people were interrogated, 16 were in the pipeline. That happened till yesterday before it was taken over by the CBI. Now,
why was the crime scene not sealed? Why was, why were personnel allowed all over the place?
The crime scene was sealed and the renovation was going on a different building. Your reporter has made it clear. The renovation was going on a different building, even that was stopped, right? That was stopped yesterday. But look at the kind of misinformation you are spreading. Are we looking for justice for this girl? When the Chief Minister is looking for justice. She called a rally on 16th of August. It's an apolitical rally seeking justice. And the CBI...
Let Toheen Sinha respond to this, that this is largely being propped up by the opposition BJP. Some of the doctors who are speaking are giving a one-sided perspective because they have political motives, and that the full picture is not being presented, leading to facts being distorted and a one-sided perspective being created. He's also saying that 34 suspects were actually questioned before the CBI took over. So it's not like the probe stopped.
Well, Rahul, while the rape incident is extremely horrific, one of the most horrendous incidents one could come across in recent history, what makes it particularly the entire episode, the entire situation particularly more obnoxious is the brazenness of TMC leadership. The way they have been, the vehemence with which they have been defending the indefensible, and the brazen attempts to shield the real culprit and to destroy evidence. When somebody who has conducted autopsy, a responsible person goes on record to say that it is impossible for the crime to have taken place or the crime to have been enacted by one person, who is Mamta Banerjee to say that we have caught the culprit? I think, that definitely Mamta Banerjee and the TMC leadership know something more about the case which you and I don't. And, there are larger questions. as the Home Minister of Bengal, as the Health Minister of Bengal, what kind of legacy has she created? A person like Sanjay Ghosh, who goes around disguising himself as an employee of the police and thereby gains entry anywhere, even in a girls' hostel in midnight. Sandeep Ghosh, the dean of that hospital, who has presided over umpteen other similar corrupt incidents where people have been, where students have been driven to the brink of suicide, and then again he gets rewarded by another promotion just 4 days after the incident. I think, there is a bigger problem with the attitude of
Okay, I want to bring in Swati Chaturvedi because, what's also galling is the fact that a lot of these left liberal, intelligentsia, feisty MPs who are very quick to pounce on any incident where, things go wrong when they happen outside West Bengal were very conspicuous by their silence for the first several days. Now they've kind of put out a vanilla tweet mocking the, just vanilla tweet which is opposing what happened, expressing their horror, but it almost seems to have been done as a result of the public backlash which was questioning their galling silence. And even amongst the community, when people have questioned, some of these MPs have been blocking people off, completely intolerant and tone deaf towards the criticism.
Absolutely, Rahul. This is what has happened in Calcutta is possibly the worst nightmare. It's not even a nightmare. For a woman, there could be nothing worse than this. And for a party which says, we are women power, look at us, we are the, we are the model state of Bengal. You have MPs, women MPs, who claim that they, who've gotten to their places in Rajya Sabha and other places, claiming to be empowering women, talking about how much they've done for women, to now the only person they empower is themselves. If somebody asks a question, do you block that person on social media for asking a question? Why can't a woman MP, it's a very simple question, why can't a TMC woman MP say that a rape and a murder of a woman is a rape and a murder of a woman? What is this convoluted, like you said, vanilla, nonsensical, mother and apple pie kind of denouement? It's complete nonsense. I mean, if you pride yourself on women, power and the fact that you speak for women, you empower women, you are literally Nari Shakti. You are saying, we are Kali, we are redemptive, we speak for women, we fight for women. Then why are you running scared? For 48 hours, we had this ghastly silence from this entire very vocal TMC brigade of women MPs who are all there in some way or the other waving the woman card saying, we work to empower women. And now we have this, very vanilla sort of denouncement saying this is wrong. Obviously, it's wrong. Nobody can justify it. And look, rapes can happen anywhere. Rapes can happen in Manipur. Rapes can happen in Kolkata. It is what happens after that is consequential. It is what happens after, which is actual law and order. What happened after here? There was a cover-up. We don't even know if it was a gang rape, for God's sake. This is a government headed by a woman's chief minister. And we still don't know. We still don't know whether this was a single rape or a gang rape. What could be worse? You're talking about women power, and this is what you're doing to the women in your state. I mean, I just saw your report on the state of the hospital. It is appalling. I mean, you don't have a restroom for trainee women doctors. What is going on? And then all these women, are they only vocal about themselves? Are they only vocal about the fact that their privilege and their powers shouldn't be taken away? They shouldn't be thrown out of parliament, while every other woman should just get the block on Twitter?
Dr. Abhijit Chaudhary, we are hearing different perspectives. The Trinamool government says that the BJP is propping up the protesters. The BJP says that's outrageous. There was a massive cover-up and the probe was botched up. As one of the prominent doctors of West Bengal and Kolkata, how are you looking at how the system failed? Where all were there mistakes at the level of the hospital, the police, the administration? What's your reading and what's your explanation for why doctors are so outraged by what this has happened, why this is being compared to Nirbhaya in Delhi?
Rahul, let me place this at the very outset that I'm party to the outrage. And so if in some way, not only me, every doctor, every sensible citizen of the state, of the country are right now coming out of agony, anguish and anger. And as you know, the city's women have given a call for night vigil today all across the city and all across the state. I mean, the state is really in a parboiling state over the unfortunate incidents. The issue is, as we feel, that what has been done is probably was not warranted, and what was warranted and what was to be done has not possibly been done in the right way. And there is a deep perception in the medical fraternity as well as the common people that, the hurry in which the body was disposed of, the hurry in which when everybody was telling that the local administration is trying to hide and trying to downplay or trying to have some foul play in the entire sequence of events, particularly the principal. There is a deep perception among the students, among the doctors, that somewhere the administration failed to bring sanity to that and to establish that the administration is acting in a sensible way, in a sensitive way. That there lies the problem. And right now, even today, the students are even after the CBI inquiry has been ordered by the court,